Have you ever heard a song and thought, hey, I've heard this before, but it was by a different artist? Well, you're not alone. Covering songs is a common practice in the music industry, and some tunes have been covered hundreds or even thousands of times by different musicians. In this video, we'll explore 10 amazing facts about the world's most covered songs. Get ready to be surprised. 1. Yesterday by the Beatles. Can you guess how many times the Beatles' iconic song Yesterday has been covered? Brace yourself because the answer is a whopping 2,200 times. That makes it one of the most covered pop songs in music history. This melancholic yet beautiful tune about lost love has been reinterpreted by everyone from folk singers like Joan Baez to rock legends like Elvis Presley and Boyz II Men. Even the legendary cartoon character Daffy Duck has taken a crack at it. Part of what makes Yesterday so cover-worthy is its simplicity. With just a few chords and poignant lyrics, it manages to capture heartbreak in a way that resonates across genres and generations. The song's straightforward melody also makes it easier for artists to put their own unique spin on it without straying too far from the original essence. 2. I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. When you hear those iconic opening guitar riffs, you know you're listening to the Rolling Stones' smash hit Satisfaction. But did you know this 1965 classic has been given a fresh spin by a wildly diverse array of artists over the years? We're talking rockers like Jimi Hendrix, new wave bands like Devo, and even rapper Vanilla Ice putting their own spin on the angst-ridden tune about modern discontent. But one of the most memorable Satisfaction covers came in 2000, when pop princess Britney Spears performed it at the MTV Video Music Awards before segueing into her own mega hit, Oops, I Did It Again. 3. Love Me Tender by Elvis Presley. When you hear Elvis Presley croon the opening lines of Love Me Tender, you might assume it was written expressly for the king of rock and roll. But this sentimental ballad actually has its roots in a popular Civil War-era folk tune called Aura Lee. It wasn't until 1956 that Elvis and songwriter Ken Doherty tweaked the melody and rewrote the lyrics about yearning for a lover's tenderness. This fresh take on the old classic proved to be a massive hit for Elvis and has since been covered by a stunningly diverse range of artists from Julie Andrews to Johnny Cash to Jim Morrison. 4. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. When the pulsating beat and unforgettable bass line of Billie Jean kicked in, the world knew they were listening to something revolutionary. Michael Jackson's 1982 smash hit about an obsessive fan became a massive crossover success, making history as the first single to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot Black Singles and Hot 100 charts at the same time. But Billie Jean didn't stop there. It went on to top the charts in a total of 4 different categories, an unprecedented feat. Given its trailblazing success and infectious blending of funk, rock, and dance pop, it's no wonder the song has been covered at least 143 times by musicians spanning multiple decades and genres. Yes, that includes the Chipmunks. 5. Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. You might assume that the Beatles' biggest, most upbeat pop rock hits would be their most covered tunes. But one of their most prolifically covered songs is the solemn, acoustic-driven Eleanor Rigby, which has been re-recorded an impressive 131 times to date. The chilling, haunting tale of loneliness and sadness surrounding the unseen Eleanor Rigby clearly struck a deep chord with artists like Ray Charles, Tony Bennett, and Aretha Franklin, who all lent their iconic vocals to reinterpreting this poignant song. Even the Swedish industrial metal band Pain has given it their unique treatment. 6. My Way by Frank Sinatra. Ironically, many of the over 150 artists who have covered Frank Sinatra's legendary anthem, My Way, didn't really do it Frank's way at all. The song about self-determination and walking your own path has been reinterpreted in endless styles from jazz to country to hip-hop, including the unlikely but compelling version by punk rocker Gary Oldman portraying Sid Vicious. You could argue that all those different takes are missing the point of My Way's defiant lyrics about individuality. Then again, maybe the wildly different approaches are a celebration of that core message about nonconformity. One thing's for sure, you'll want to avoid most karaoke covers if you value your eardrums. So why has this quintessential Sinatra standard proven to be such an enduring, coverable hit? For one, the unapologetic, self-assured lyrics penned by Paul Anka are incredibly universal and empowering, giving all kinds of artists something to project their own identities onto. The big, brassy, timeless production is also conducive to endless reinterpretations while still feeling classic. 7. Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. With its soaring vocals, sweeping orchestration, and gospel-inspired lyrics about providing comfort and support, Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water was an instant classic upon its 1970 release. It's no surprise then that the song has been covered a staggering estimated 600 times by artists as diverse as jazz crooner Johnny Mathis and soul legend Stevie Wonder, who both recorded versions just weeks after the original hit. What makes Bridge Over Troubled Water so appealingly coverable across genres? For one, the inspirational, inclusive lyrics projecting hope and resilience through hard times possess a universality that hits home for different audiences and artists. 8. Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. When soul singer Bill Withers originally recorded his heart-wrenching signature song Ain't No Sunshine in 1971, he never could have predicted what an enduring classic it would become. Nor could he have foreseen that the famous refrain of I know, I know, I know, which he initially sang 26 times as a placeholder, would turn into one of the most iconic hooks in music history. According to Withers, when legends like Stephen Stills and Graham Nash happened to be in the studio during recording, they advised him not to replace that improvised I know line. Good thing he listened, because that raw, emotional hook is now instantly recognizable to millions of fans across generations. With its smoldering groove, desperate yearning, and incredible vocal performance, Ain't No Sunshine has proven to be an irresistible cover for countless artists over the decades. 9. Hallelujah by Leanard Cohen. You've heard it in movies, TV shows, talent competitions. Leonard Cohen's transcendent masterpiece, Hallelujah, has truly become one of the most ubiquitous, covered songs of the modern era. So many artists have put their own spin on this biblical-themed rumination on love and spirituality that Cohen himself once considered asking them to stop. In the end, he embraced the endless covers, saying, "I'm very happy that it's being sung." And why wouldn't he be? With its poetic, ambiguous lyrics and beautifully haunting melodies, Hallelujah is right for any artist to make their own personal religious spiritual experience. From Cade Lang's show-stopping take to Jeff Buckley's definitive version, each rendition reveals new layers to this modern hymn. 10. I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash. With its distinctive boom chicka boom bass line and lyrics about marital fidelity and sticking to your path, Johnny Cash's signature song, I Walk the Line, immediately captivated audiences upon its 1956 release. Over 60 years later, the appeal of this stripped-down outlaw anthem hasn't waned a bit. The tune has been covered nearly 200 times by all types of artists. You've got country icons carrying the torch like Dolly Parton and Waylon Jennings, who honor the song's roots. Then you've got unexpected indie rockers like Halsey and rock rappers like Kid Rock putting their spin on it. Heck, even Leonard Nimoy, the actor who played Spock, once lent his unique baritone to I Walk the Line. Wow, who knew that some of our favorite tunes have been reinterpreted so many times? It just goes to show the power of a great song. It can transcend genres, generations, and even species. Remember the Chipmunks cover of Billie Jean? So, the next time you hear a familiar tune with a new twist, appreciate the rich history and versatility of these musical masterpieces. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating music facts.